What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's time to learn how to get rich. So you might not know this about me, but I'm pretty committed to my New Year's resolutions. I like to make a goal and then achieve it by the end of the year. I think it feels really nice. Last year, my goal was to read more, so I decided to read 2 books a month, and I did it. I'm looking at a stack of books right here that I read. Made me feel super on top of everything and like I could do anything, which is awesome. This year, I was struggling to think about what I wanted my resolution to be. Should I try to eat cleaner? Should I go to the gym? But then I thought, why not get insanely wealthy? Most people, when they're looking to get rich quick, are looking for a roadmap. They want some sort of financial influencer to tell them what the next big cryptocurrency scam is, or how to make more money by working 80 hours a week instead of 40. But luckily, we don't need all that, because I found a show that gives you a clear-cut solution on how to get rich. And that solution is, I don't know. Maybe it'll just happen. Suddenly Rich is a TLC show that came out in the mid-2010s. If by some chance you're not familiar, TLC as an acronym stands for The Learning Channel. TLC as a company stands for nothing. So naturally, I was drawn to this show for 2 reasons. One, because it would be great inspiration on my journey to become the single richest person who's ever lived. And 2, because TLC just makes bad, dumb shows, and me likey. So every episode of Suddenly Rich follows a few different people's stories. There's usually like 3 to 4 people telling their stories about how they became wealthy really fast. It can be from anything too. It can be from inheritance, lottery winnings, running into Mr. Beast outside of a Walmart. But what's a common thread is that every story is told almost exclusively through reenactment. For example, our first story is this guy, Todd. One quick thing, that guy's name is Scott, not Todd. I don't know why I kept calling him Todd. I recorded this video at like 11:30 at night after 12 straight hours of editing, so I think I just got confused. I call him Todd for the rest of the video. He's Scott. Todd seems like a pretty ordinary guy, but the show really wants us to think there's something going on. And I say that because they refuse to tell us how he got rich for almost the entirety of his story.
Big days might be 36-year-old Scott's reality now, but before he struck it rich, this life was only a pipe dream.
Naturally, I was feeling a little uneasy about Todd. I don't know if I can trust him, and the show did not make it any easier on me. Here's a list of things they reveal before they ever tell you how he made his money. He has regular meetings with the mayor.
A visit from the mayor isn't out of the ordinary for Scott Rowe.
He's opening up a small business.
Took that money and I decided to start my own business.
He was a military contractor.
I had to apply to one of the only jobs that I could get with my skills, security contractor overseas.
Luckily though, his money doesn't have a dark backstory. That they tell us.
Hi sir, would you like to sign up for a contest?
Yeah, sure, why not?
According to the show, Todd won one of those sweepstakes you sign up for where you give them your email and name and they steal all of your credit card information.
Hello? What are you talking about? I won how much?
And rightfully so, he was a little skeptical.
Asking for bank information.
Can't you just send me a check?
She said no. I woke up in the morning and there was $1 million.
Ah, yes. We love a story with a good moral. And this story's moral is that you should give everyone your bank account information if they ask you even once. In fact, send it to this email at the bottom of the screen now.
First thing I do, I called my boss overseas and said, hey, I'm resigning and I'm not coming back.
Hey, I'm resigning and I'm not coming back. No, I know I have a contract, but What do you mean I've seen too much? So I'm editing right now and I just noticed that in the part of the episode where they talk about Scott's deployment, there's a part where he's talking about how hard it was for him and how like scary of an experience it was. One of the things that happened, I guess, is that he was at a consulate and it got bombed and like he very narrowly like survived.
There was an attack in Afghanistan at the US consulate. I almost died.
But the way that they show like that a bomb went off in this show is they cut to stock footage of fire, just fire on a black background. The show rocks. Next up we got Jerry. I don't want to be hyperbolic or anything, But Jerry's story is probably one of the saddest backstories I have ever heard on reality TV. Jerry's mom died of a rare form of cancer, and he became homeless at a young age because his dad threw him out of the house. It is desperately sad, so thank God the reenactments match that level of emotion.
What?
Just when you think the show might be getting a little predictable, we find out that Jerry doesn't actually get his money from a grocery store sweepstakes.
That it's more than 99.9% for sure that Alfred Winkler is your real father.
Instead, we find out that Jerry's dad is not his real father, and his biological father is the richest man in Denmark. Hello, me again. I just said that Johnny is from Denmark. He's actually from the Netherlands. That's on me. Don't come for me in the comments. I know those are two distinct countries. Hi, me again. Happy to see ya. I just said Johnny just now. His name is Jerry. I'm gonna scream.
Now, he's on a mission to share his inspirational message that anyone's luck can change when it's least expected.
I in no way want to undercut how difficult Jerry's life was. He was living without a home for a majority of his adolescence. That is horrible. That being said, now that he's rich and living comfortably, I do wonder what a motivational speech from him would be like. Look, I know stuff is hard right now, but you can overcome anything. If you just do the research, you'll see that your dad is the richest man in Denmark and owes you $100 million. So keep your chin up. All right, on to the next rich person, Jane. Jane's story begins when she was much younger and got a job at a bakery.
My name's Richard. How can I help you?
I saw the sign in the window.
You're hired.
And it's that easy, folks. Don't have a job? Walk into your nearest bakery and they'll throw one at you. Like they're throwing a big pizza pie. I don't know, they don't make bakeries and pizzas, but the imagery is funny. Jane then experiences the classic bakery to antique store employee pipeline. While working at this antique store, her boss gets her into going to estate sales and looking for fun trinkets. And if you know anything about estate sales, you know this is about to be a high-octane thrill ride.
And I saw most of the people going into the living room, so I went down in the basement. There's some interesting things.
I feel like Jane's about to find a super valuable artifact. Like she's gonna turn the corner and stumble upon an orb of unknown power.
I picked up this photograph, and having had some experience, I thought the photo was worth about $400.
All right, not an orb, but cool. But Jane takes the photo to be appraised at a gallery.
Jane, this is a very rare photo.
It is?
This is a very rare photo. Everyone who's ever looked at this picture dies. You said you got this at a garage sale. That's so interesting. Lucky for Jane, the photo is very rare and it sells for $62,000. Which compared to the other two stories doesn't feel like that much money. Don't get me wrong, $62,000 is a life-changing amount of money. I'm thinking about like if I randomly came into $62,000, it would change my whole world. I would pay off all my student loans and then I'd use the remaining $5 to like get a hot dog. But that being said, after two stories of people making millions of dollars overnight, I don't know, 62 large doesn't really hit the same. Overall though, Jane seems really nice. I give Jane 10 rare photographs out of 10. The final story follows Brick and Britta, two people named after things I keep in my fridge. They run an ice cream shop together, which is the sweetest thing I've ever heard. And things were at a high point. They had tons of customers.
This year would be our 54th year that Salties is here.
Chocolate single scoop. Yeah.
Single.
Why is he so mad? They're like, no, just a single scoop. And he's like, Anyway, in a textbook example of poor planning, Brick and Britta neglected to anticipate a record-setting hurricane that would destroy their community and ruin their lives. I mean, come on, guys. Think a little bit, huh? Maybe think a little bit the next time you open up an ice cream shop 54 years ago. So they evacuate and come back and find their shop destroyed. But they also find something else. Don't get your hopes up, it's not an orb.
That's how we ended up coming across our box of comic books. Look at these.
That's right. A bunch of comic books, which is arguably the opposite of an orb. They're literally flat and square. So they take the comic books to an appraisal guy, an appraiser, if you will. I won't. I barely know her. Brick tries to hand him like 2 comic books at once, and he's like, oh no, I usually just look at a single comic book at a time. Brick's just like,
ooh. This is some really, really unusual stuff you got over here.
I'm glad that this show is keeping the traditions alive that we saw in Monster Quest. For instance, the reenactment actors who just don't care. This is some really unusual stuff. I like this. I like this. Ooh. So they never tell us the total amount that Brick and Britta make because, you know, they're making these sales over time because not everybody wants to buy all these comic books at once, I guess. I don't know. The first sale they make, though, is $300,000.
We ended up grossing $300,000 for them.
So we can assume that they're gonna be okay. And then they say that there's a new batch of comics they're selling that's gonna be worth $25,000. So I guess they got the heavy hitters out of the way up top. So there you have it, folks. 4 stories of people getting rich without any warning. It can happen to any of us. You just have to be the person who this would happen to, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this silly little video, and I hope you subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. Every time you do, it gets me an inch closer to discovering a long lost fortune. I'm so close I can taste it, and I need your help. Bye.